What's up, hair nerds? Welcome to episode 4 of 7-Minute Seminars. I'm Richard Kavanagh, and this is the weekly series in your inbox where we teach you how to hair like a boss, whether you're a pro, an amateur, or you just really like nice hairs. This week's episode is all about curls. We're going to talk about haircuts that work for curls and haircuts that do not work for curls. We're going to show you how to style curly hair, whether it's your hair or someone else's hair. We're going to talk about the ingredients, the time required. We're going to show you how to control the frizz, and I'm going to bring you a little trick direct from the 80s. So let's get straight into it. Definitely avoid cutting curly hair the same way that you cut straight hair. For example, as a general rule, straight hair is approached in a very architectural manner. So you do things like very clean lines, strong points, angles, elevation, control, tension, angle of scissors, etc., etc. You can cut the ends very blunt. You can rip into it. You can do all sorts of things with straight hair, because here's the thing with straight hair. If I make a line down the side of my head here and I comb it nice and clean and I elevate the hair straight out to the side of my head like this and I cut it and then I let it go, it's going to fall in a very predictable manner. I know exactly where it's going to fall. What happens when I do that with curly hair? If I make a nice line like this, I stretch that curly hair out and I cut it like that. When I let it go, what's it going to do? Who knows what it's going to do? Only the curly hair knows. Boink, it's going to go anywhere. So as a consequence, if you approach cutting curly hair the same way you cut straight hair, you often end up with weird shapes. The triangle is a classic one that many curly-haired people dislike. You also get all sorts of weird kind of lines and things because the curl doesn't behave the same way as straight hair. So when it comes to cutting curly hair, approach it in a much more sculptural manner. You want to use dry cutting techniques. You want to use freehand cutting techniques and treat it almost like, I like to think of it like topiary, like tree pruning, for lack of a better thing. Okay, let's talk about styling curly hair. What's the biggest problem with curly hair? Generally speaking, it's frizz. I'm going to show you how to style this curly hair to get that beautiful natural look and control the frizz. You're going to need your hair shampooed, conditioned, and towel dried using a moisture-based shampoo and conditioner to help close the cuticle layer and lock in as much moisture as possible. Towel dried, lightly combed through with a wide tooth comb. You're going to need a soft hold moisturizing styling mousse, a wide tooth comb, a hair dryer with a diffuser, a small curling iron or tong, and some serum oil or styling cream. Put some mousse in it. Lots and lots of mousse. You're going to comb it through with the wide tooth comb, and then you're going to shake it out with your fingers. Throw your head upside down, give it a good shake. Put the hair dryer on full speed, full heat with the diffuser on, and gently diffuse the hair. Now, in the 80s, we figuratively, the hairdressing industry, used to scrunch dry the hair to make it big and crazy and wild, like hairband hair, like 80s hair. So if you want to control the frizz, I'm going to suggest that you avoid scrunching as much as you're going to want to, and just use the diffuser to gently push the hair up. Avoid touching it with your hands. And when you think it's dry it for a few more minutes. And as it dries, the drier it gets, the more it will refine. Once your hair's dry, turn your tong on and start tonging a few little random bits around the front and around the top to refine the curl. Now, if you're doing it on yourself, here's a hot tip. Hold the iron or the curling tong in your hand with the barrel pointing straight up. Take your arm up and over your head and work on the opposite side. That'll make your hands much freer and easier to use. The other thing it'll do is it'll make it very hard for you to accidentally burn yourself. If you're teaching a client to do it, likewise, put the iron in their hand and have them bring their arm up and over to point the barrel down and use the other hand to wrap the hair around it. So once you've tonged a few random bits, just tousle it and loosen it up with your fingers. You might want to just pull a few little bits out just to make sure the shape is sitting nicely. Feel free to give it a rock and roll shake, and then use a small amount of serum oil or styling cream. Now, a general rule of thumb is, if your hair is finer or thinner, you might want to use a lightweight silicone-based serum, a drop or two. It's less heavy on the hair. For medium or medium to coarse hair, a lightweight natural oil is fantastic for controlling the frizz. And for coarser hair types, you want to use a cream-based styling product. You can finish it off with a little mist of light hold hairspray. That'll help lock out some of that extra humidity, which will help to control the frizz. So that was that. 7-minute seminars. This was episode 4. I've been Richard Kavanagh. It's been an absolute pleasure sharing with you some tips and tricks for curly hair. And if you like what you learned and you can think of anyone else that might like our 7-minute seminars, please tell them to sign up. See you next week.